I know. Every color bleeds into the same. 'Cause before you go and walk away, yeah, you better know where you're going. Hey, yeah, yeah. You're a wanderer just like me. Hey, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you better know where you're going.
As you can see in the background, the clouds rolling in, so we're getting a set of wets, pressurized and ready. So if it comes to it, we can just slap them straight on. This is probably one of my favorite parts of karting, just setting up tire pressures. It just makes you feel like you're doing something important. What are you doing, mate?
Trying to pick up another nail to pick you up.
Hey Tom, say hi. So you've been told by your engine builder that if you take out the spacer for the exhaust,
gives it a bit more mid-range.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously the water box over the air box.
Yeah.
The water cover.
Yeah.
We're losing a little bit of mid-range because it can't suck much oxygen in.
Yeah.
So he said to compensate for that, you take the spacer out of the exhaust.
Yeah.
To give her a little bit more. Go.
Is that one of the positives about having a mechanic that comes to the races?
He doesn't go to all the races. He goes to the big races, but it's good that he's at this race.
What's the chances of using wets, you reckon?
40%. And the fact that we run them yesterday, we were pretty confident on that. We'll see how we go.
Yeah. Our new mechanic chillin'? Hey Tom. Yo Ant, quickly tell us what happened, bro. Race 2.
Some idiot come over the top of me going into a carousel corner from the inside. injured, my cart's injured, my ribs are injured. I keep trying to go.
So Anth qualified, or he was starting 31st for this race, second race. He moved up to 24th in 2 laps, and then coming into a hairpin, a guy's come behind him, hasn't braked obviously, has launched himself over Anth's kart and taken out Anth and another guy, and the guy himself unfortunately has flipped his kart, landed on his head and has been taken to hospital. So we're in a race against the clock now to try and get everything that's fixable fixed, and to get it out for the last 2 races, the pre-final and the final. We'll see what happens. We've got a little bit of work to show you. So the whole radiator assembly over here has been really bent out of whack. Trying to just reconnect it for today, just to finish the races. The steering wheel's been bent as well. The seats been broken, and I think a few of Anthony's ribs might be cracked, but we'll see what happens. So a little bit of an update now. So we've just had some lunch. The racing's got back and going after the incident involving Anthony and the other fella. Unfortunately, he's been taken to the hospital in an ambulance. He's landed on his neck, and they want to make sure they're not going to risk anything. So what you'll see, what you just saw in the video, the radiator on Anth's kart was bent out of shape. He's had a bit of damage on the steering column a bit, but we've straightened that out. And now he's just going to take it to his engine builder and make sure that it's jetted properly, because it doesn't seem to be running as smoothly as it was this morning. But all in all, it seems like everything's as good as it can be, and will be out for the next race. He'd moved up to 24th in that race in the first 2 laps, but because they were stopped for a lap, all the karts who went past him have taken position, so now he's been classified as 28th for that race. So with the 11th he got yesterday and the 28th, I think now he's got the pre-final, and they'll determine his position for that, and then his position from the pre-final will determine his final. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. But really busy morning, to be honest. Just trying to get that all sorted and make sure I was all straight for the next race. But the ambulance coming did buy us quite a bit of time because there was no running. And we'll update you after the after his pre-final.
Better start this time is, oh no, it wasn't a better start. We got 2 karts together. Chadston's is one of them, and then I think it might have been the 63 of China. Through the double hairpins at the car hire track, now around the clubhouse, and Bruno has the advantage. So Bruno leading from the side of Brown. Then it's back to the start half lap. Bruno has the lead. Brown is in second. Bacharach has got George round the outside as they go into 2. George and Bacharach side by side, and that is going to bring up into the battle Barbaro. So Barbaro in the 35 is in a 3-way battle as they put a bang and crash 2, 6 and 7 for our 4th, 5th and 6th place drivers. Again, Bacharach.
Yeah, we're back. We just finished the pre-final. We had a little engine grumbling just off the start, so Anth dropped back from 21st to 28th on the warm-up lap. And then he came back to 24th. So
I think it was 24th.
Yeah. So we'll just we've got a final coming up, and we'll see what he has to say about his race.
I'm just checking what my time.
What are you looking at?
25th.
Turn 25th?
Yeah, 25th.
Alright.
So, yeah, a bit disappointing. I was pretty happy to be 21st after the 2 pre-races, so that was pretty good. And then the kart just was struggling off the line, and it took a few times to fire it up, and then it cut out on the warm-up lap, so a few karts got past me, and then when it finally came good, I was pretty much at the back of the grid, so all the hard work from before was done. But then the race was actually alright. It was in a few battles, made a few moves, got overtaken a few times. I don't know, the engine, the X30 engine struggles a little bit against the Rotax just on acceleration, and this track's got a lot of, you know, slow corners and acceleration points, so it wasn't the easiest race, but you know, 25th with 1 race to go.
What are you aiming for in the final?
If I can go into the top 20, that would be a good race. So hopefully with a few retirements and maybe a couple of good moves as well, and just staying on the track, I think top 20 could be a place to go.
Alright, talk to you soon. Here we go. The tag restricted final. Let's see how Ant goes.
So Kevin out has been fast.
I've been painting every
Hey guys, here with our final blog from the Sydney of Sydney titles that took place yesterday. So it's bright and early on Monday morning now, just about to go to the day job, but we thought we'd do one final blog and talk about the last race of the weekend. So we started out of 24th for the final, so it was a 10 lapper, not a 5 lapper, which is a much longer race than we've been doing over the course of the weekend. Started out at 24th, and by halfway through the race, about lap 5, we had moved up to 19th, which was, pretty good. All weekend I'd been saying if I could get into the top 20, that would kind of be my goal. Ideally, my biggest goal was to try to get a top 15 finish, but just from where we were starting and also the difficulties we had early in the week, and that was going to be a little bit unrealistic. So top 20 would have been really good, and we're sitting in 19th, so I was pretty happy with how that was going. In the second half of the race though, my ribs that I hurt in that first race on Sunday morning, when the cart came over the top of me and pushed me into my seat, broke my seat. I don't know, might have hurt my ribs as well. They could be cracked. They're still a bit sore now. By the second half of the race, I was really just holding on. I couldn't really turn my body into the corners. I had no strength to do that. So I was a bit of a ragdoll, and the cart started becoming harder to control. I was fishtailing and drifting through a lot more corners, which is, it might look cool, but it's definitely not the fastest way to go. But we had some great battles even in that second half of the race. 19th, 20th, and 21st were all really close for about 3 or 4 laps, and then on the last lap, because we were all so close, the field behind us caught up as well, and then I was overtaken and finished in 22nd, which was still a good race. Considering where we started the weekend in 31st, I think it was. We had the great race on Saturday when we got up to 12th from 31st. Sunday morning we had the wipeout incident to begin the day. In the second race we moved up from 28th to 24th, and then we moved up from 24th to 22nd, and the whole race was a good battle, and that's really all that we can ask for as races. So it was a great event, really fun. Had a great time, and really grateful that Karting New South Wales put on this awesome event with particularly the long track. The only thing I regret really is not having any GoPro footage, because that really could have been something cool, but I'm sure that other people will put it up. So yeah, that's the final blog, and hopefully if you're watching this and you haven't got into karting, maybe you want to get into karting. It's definitely the greatest sport on earth. It's a little bit expensive, but all the great racing that you can have, particularly all the good days, definitely make up for it. But also be ready that if you are getting into karting, there's going to be at least 2 years of ordinary days as well. So it's definitely something that you have to grow into. It's something that you have to persevere with. But once you do get a little bit familiar with the racing, with setting up, with all that kind of stuff, you can definitely have some fantastic days in the sport as well. So that's it. Have a great day, and peace out.